Hi, I'm Michelle and welcome to Unicorn and Centaur. Today's video is the ultimate guide to coloring your horse's mane and tail. I'm going to go over all the different products and procedures for coloring your horse's mane and tail, and I'm going to break down the process, lasting ability, and expense of each. This information is so you can make a better decision about what method you need to use, thus saving you time and money. Let's start with dyes. Since permanent hair dyes use a chemical developer to deposit the color onto hair, and these chemicals can be damaging to your horse's skin, I do not recommend using permanent hair dye that is made for humans on your horse. If you want to use a permanent dye on your horse, there are companies that specifically formulate products just for animals. Pet-safe options are available from brands such as Opawz or Crazy Liberty. These brands specifically formulate their products to be safe for use on animals. Semi-permanent dye does not use a chemical developer to open the hair shaft to allow color to go into the hair shaft. Rather, it deposits staining pigments onto the outside of the hair shaft. That's the difference between permanent and semi-permanent. Other than that, they are very similar, from the application process to the results achieved and the price. The application process using dyes is kind of time consuming. You have to prep everything, you have to apply it very carefully, you have to wait during the appropriate processing time, anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, and then wash it out and let the whole thing dry. It's a lot. You really have to have a patient horse who loves grooming time and loves spending time with you. The upside to this lengthy application process is that dyes, both permanent and semi-permanent, last a long time. Like a long time. Unless you're washing your horse's mane and tail every day, it's gonna be weeks or even months before the dye comes out of your horse's hair. It's May 2021 now, and my horse Artex still has an orange tail from last Halloween. Make your plans accordingly. Dyes can get pretty expensive, especially since you have to purchase enough to actually cover an entire mane and tail. Horses have a lot more hair to dye than humans do, so you can't just get like the amount you would use on your own head. Do your math depending on your horse's hair length and thickness. There are ways to reduce the costs of dyes, coupons and special offers and things like that. For example, if you order from opawz.com, you can use my affiliate code UNICORN for 5% off of your total purchase. That is an affiliate code, but I don't make any money off of it. It's just for you guys. There are three basic types of temporary hair coloring products: chalk, paste, and spray. These products are meant to be applied to the hair and then removed with one washing. The only differences are in the textures of the products and how they're applied. Hair chalk is just powdered pigment. It either comes loose or pressed in a little palette, like a blush or an eyeshadow palette. You can apply it with your fingers, with a cloth, or with a brush. I find hair chalk difficult to work with on my horses. The powder formula is hard to lay down on the hair. I seem to get more on my fingers and my breeches than I do on my horse's mane. It also has the least staying power of all the temporary products, as most hair chalks can be rinsed out with plain water. The upside of the powder formula is that it doesn't change the texture of the hair like paste or spray can. Color paste is exactly what the name suggests. It's a thick paste that you smear into the hair. You comb it through, let it dry, and brush it a bit so it doesn't look clumpy. The application process of the paste is similar to dyeing hair in that you have to set everything up and prep it, you have to section out the hair, you have to apply it and wait for it to dry. The good news with color paste though is that if you don't wash it out, it can last for several days, even over a week. This may be a good option for people who want to try a dye but don't want to make that long-term commitment. Colored hairspray is my favorite of all the temporary options. Application is super easy. Drying time is practically instantaneous, and if you don't wash it out, it can last up to a week as it fades. Now, if you wash the temporary products, they're gonna come out. Some of them will leave a little bit of staining, but a second wash will definitely take care of that. Now, if you don't wash them out and you don't have rainy weather, they actually can last quite a bit of time. Days, even over a week. Now, they will fade over time, but they'll still last in your horse's hair. So the temporary products tend to be a little bit on the cheaper side than the actual dyes, but that depends on brand, so shop around. Of the 3 types of temporary hair products, chalk, paste, and spray, the hairspray is the least expensive option, especially if you find it in like party stores or dollar stores around Halloween. I usually get mine from Walmart or the Dollar Tree at Halloween time, and it's $1 a can, and it only takes a couple of cans to cover the whole mane and tail. If you're on a budget, keep that in mind. The most popular DIY methods for coloring hair bright colors are Kool-Aid, food coloring, and Sharpie markers, permanent markers. Of these methods, the only one that I have not tried is the Sharpie one. I was going to try the Sharpie method, but then I watched a couple of tutorials, and no, y'all are on your own with that one. My dumb butt thought it was just like coloring on your horse's mane. I was like, oh, that sounds easy. But no, you have to break open the markers with some sort of cutting tool, and then once you've broken it open, you have to get the actual ink out of the cartridges and the marker. It is an entire process. I was getting frustrated just watching. So with how complicated the process is, plus how expensive Sharpie markers are, plus how many you're gonna need to dye an entire horse's mane and tail, this method was a big no for me. Nope, 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 nope. I'm sorry, no. If you have tried the Sharpie method, comment below and let me know what your experience was. How did it turn out? Be honest. Also, let me know if you stabbed yourself while trying to open the Sharpies. Kool-Aid is a brand name for a powdered drink mix that is artificially flavored and colored. I did use the name brand when I did this method, but I'm assuming even a generic powdered drink mix will work. They're all pretty much the same formula. The method of application is similar to the dyeing process. You have to prep everything and then apply it and wait for it to dry and all that. You do have to mix up the colors. All it is dissolving the powder in a tiny bit of hot water and then adding some hair conditioner. That's it. So the whole Kool-Aid process is a bit time consuming, but it's pretty easy to do. The color payoff with the Kool-Aid method depends on the color you use. I tried a whole rainbow of colors. Some colors turned out brighter than I expected, some were more faded. The purple turned out like an entirely different shade. It was like an indigo blue, if I recall. So your results may vary. You may not get exactly what you expect with the Kool-Aid method. Now the Kool-Aid actually lasted a while. It was several weeks for that to fade out. Some colors faded more quickly than others, but they all seemed to fade kind of evenly. Nothing faded in a very patchy way. This is absolutely the cheapest method of all the DIY methods that I tried. Powdered drink mix costs like $2 for a big tub of it, and conditioner is $1. I did my entire horse's long mane and tail in rainbow colors with all these different colors, and the whole thing cost me less than $10. As I said before, the exact colors are not as guaranteed as if you are purchasing a dye. But if you're on a budget, the cost more than makes up for it, in my opinion. This method, I was like, what? Food coloring? What? But in the name of science and in creating content on YouTube, I tried it. I got a bunch of red food coloring, since I figured that would be the color that stains the most. I got my horse Sunny, who's a chestnut, so he's red already. Staining red food dye on an already red horse, I figure I was setting myself for a win-win-win. However, the results were just okay, and it faded immediately. I mean immediately. Like no rain, no rinsing, no washing. I came back 2 days later and there was no trace of color in his mane. Like none. It was so disappointing. It was easy to do. Just mix liquid food coloring and conditioner and put it on your horse's hair. But the application process took forever because it's kind of like the dyeing process where you have to section and lay it all out and let it dry and all that stuff. And then when it disappeared almost immediately, like it was not worth it to me. I'm not ever doing that one again. No. More expensive than Kool-Aid. Just no. I cannot recommend this method. Save your food coloring for your birthday cake frosting. So those are all the products and methods that I have personally used to dye my horse's manes and tails crazy colors. I hope this has helped you do the math a little bit for whatever project you are planning. If you dye your horse's mane and tail, tag me in a pic on Facebook or Instagram so I can see your glorious unicorn. I will leave a playlist of all my horse hair dyeing videos at the end of this video, and I will also put links to them all down in the description box below. So if one of these methods sounded like something you wanted to try, you can click on one of my videos where I go through the whole process and explain everything in a little more detail. So that's down in the description box below, or you can just click the playlist at the very end of the video. And if you need a shirt like mine, I designed and drew the shirt myself. If you want to see all of my t-shirt designs, you can check out my Etsy shop. There is a link to that in the description box below. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters who give me life every single day. I love y'all so much. And thank you for watching my video today. People who watch my videos all the way to the very end are my favorites. That's you. And I hope you have a magical day. So I cut my hair. Who noticed? I totally chopped it all off. I did this to myself. There's no excuses. I can't blame anyone else. I did this to myself. I think it's cute. I like it.